Our first guests are Barry Seymour and Jason Morgan. Jason Morgan is you're the band administrator?
Director.
For the Lheidli T'enneh Native Band? No.
Lheidli.
Okay. Lheidli T'enneh Native Band, which
First Nation.
Which is the First Nation from the Prince George area.
Yes. Right.
Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, the band is going to be hosting the annual BC Elders Gathering on July 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and up at the University of UNBC. And can you tell me a little something about this gathering? I guess it's quite an honor and quite a challenge to have this handed to you. Did you know it was coming?
Thank you very much, Peter. It is an annual event that is hosted by various First Nations that put in a bid process at the current host nation. This past year, it was hosted in Stolo Nation and Tawasin Nation.
Okay.
So it was jointly hosted, and a contingency of some of our elders, requested that Lheidli actually look at hosting it for this 2013, and it being the 37th annual gathering, we thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to put our name in, and we were advised, we were the successful host nation. So.
Now, what does this gathering mean to First Nations in British Columbia and your First Nation?
Okay, I'll answer the first part, and then I'll let my colleague here answer the second part. This being the 37th annual, it is an opportunity for us to look at welcoming people to the territory. Having approximately, we are anticipating 3 to 3,500 people in attendance. So it is a pretty significant an event. The last time it was hosted in Prince George was in 2005, and they actually hosted it in the fall of October. So this year we actually anticipate the gathering to be, in the summer, in July, but we do anticipate a pretty significant presence from the north, to have an opportunity to come to Prince George, and so it'll be a good opportunity. It'll be something that we will work with our community, work with our elders group, work with the administration to really look at planning a very successful event.
Now, what are going to be some of the components of this event?
Sure.
I mean, I imagine you're going to be talking about current issues and what else?
A lot of the issues that we wanted to look at doing is talking about having the opportunity for everybody to get together. We wanted this to be an event that would look at bringing people to discuss some of the issues that are both facing in their communities, both on a rural and an urban environment. So we wanted to see this as a chance to talk about some of the daily lives challenges, and helping them, empower them. So the agenda is still going to be worked on. We have a planning committee in place, and we are going to be moving forward.
So I guess you're going to be discussing things like healthcare, education, business opportunities, that kind of thing.
It's going to be a little more geared towards the individual. In past gatherings, there were a lot of issues touched upon as youth, for example. But the theme for this event is honor your journey. And so what we'd like to do is focus on holistic activities that support healthy living.
Okay.
And as we the elders have some challenges in regards to health and that sort of thing. So we want to focus on helping them understand some of the things that are going on and some of the options that are available in dealing with them issues, and diabetes is significant in our community. And as we're both diabetics also, but
I am too. So sitting around the table here, we're all in.
So that brings on specific challenges and simple things such as foot care. So when we've talked to other elders that have went to these events in the past, they don't want to be lectured to anymore. So we think what we would like to do is actually show them and go through actual foot care and have people that specialize in that to work on them while they're there. So it's basically we want to teach them coping skills with issues that affect them on the daily basis.
Now, is this with an eye towards their own personal care, or is this with an eye toward their leadership in your communities as well?
I think it'll both. Right?
It'll
Because
bubble
if
from
you
one to
teach,
the other?
Yeah, if you teach someone something, they'll obviously bring it back to their communities and share that information. There's also another, we each have our own personal journey in life, and as part of the event, we say that we want to honor that journey. So, that means all aspects of your life. That means your spiritual, your emotional, your mental, and your physical well-being. So we'd like the agenda to basically look at doing things that will help in that sense. One of the other reasons that Lheidli T'enneh, Lheidli T'enneh themselves have been on a journey. And next year marks 100 years since they've been forcibly removed from their main village at Fort George Park. So in a sense, it's really it's not a celebration in regards to that event, but it's a celebration in the sense that we're still here and we'll continue to be here, and so that's part of our journey as Lheidli T'enneh.
Right. Sort of a celebration, kind of, not of the event, but what you've been able to do with yourselves since that event.
Yeah, we're still in existence.
Yeah, we're still here.
Yeah, you bet.
Now, you did live, had your village down where Fort George Park is now, and then you were told to move way back when?
It's quite a significant story. It actually, and I don't believe we have enough time today to discuss that, and that could be another day we can talk about that. But the short of it is that IR number 1 used to be basically the bowl area. So you go from 20th Avenue down to where the park is, and then you go down Kearney Street to the North of Chaco. Everything inside that used to be IR number 1.
Okay. Basically where the city of Prince George is now.
Exactly.
You back in the old days, a lot of your folks were down along where First Avenue is now, where the...
Yeah. Well, I think they were mixed throughout.
I'm ashamed to say I'm not very good at Prince George history.
As recent as when they were doing the new Fraser Bridge going across Fraser River towards the BC industrial site, there was a significant find in regards to artifacts within that area.
Oh.
So what that indicates, and I believe there were actual spearheads found, and which are being housed up at UNBC now, and they've aged it to between 7,000 and 9,000 years ago. So
that's before the pyramids. So I mean that goes back a ways.
I'd say.
Jason, this is going to attract people from all over the province.
Yes.
What's sort of going to be the economic impact? of that meeting, do you think?
I look at just with the magnitude and the size of this event, I see this also being kind of a test, for the city of Prince George, kind of with this type of amount of people coming, precursor to the 2015 Winter Games, which Lheidli will be a part of. We feel that, just with the sheer volume of accommodations, guests coming in, the tourism opportunities, we do want to look at, profiling, Lheidli, also work in partnership, with our partners, whether it be, Initiatives BC, Prince George, I should say, or any other, Tourism BC. We do want to look at having those opportunities presented, so we do bring people and they will come back, and we want this event to be, people memorable, so they will remember Prince George for the great hospitality that we can offer them.
Okay. So do you expect this to be bigger than the last elders gathering that was held here?
Yes.
So it's getting bigger.
It is getting bigger. Yeah.
And 3,500 people bring, 2 people with them each? I mean, that's quite a lot of people for the weekend kind of thing.
Yeah. So we definitely are very encouraged. The community has been very supportive in wanting to see this event succeed. And we have the capacity to move this, event forward. So, we will, we are having quite a bit of various committees in place, to actually help us. And so we've been very supported by a lot of the urban Aboriginal organizations here in town, as well as all different regional elders groups that want to come forward and help out. So it's been a quite relationship building aspect to, with our planning, and and Prince George is a great community to band together and help support this event.
Right. Do you have a sort of a figure of how many of your people are left in this area?
Lheidli T'enneh?
Yes.
Our membership is currently around 400, of which 2/3 of that live in the Prince George area. So, so we're talking about 300 people.
300 people. Okay.
And of which 140 live on the reserve right now, which is located just north and east of town, out in Shelley.
Now, is there does the band have any sort of outreach to the broader community? Like, I mean, I would like to learn a lot more about Lheidli, and how would I go about doing that?
We're currently in the process of developing information. One of the things that we haven't done effectively in the past is develop the information to share with people. However, as part of this process for next year, we will be developing them sort of things so that anybody that's interested could learn.
You have a couple of good windows on the past that I would imagine that you would like to open, and some of them being, of course, the stained glass windows from the old church, and as you mentioned before, all of the artifacts and stuff like that.
Yes, in regards to the stained glass windows, they're currently in storage at the exploration place. So what we were finding is they were deteriorating. They were built so long ago in the early 1900s, and one of the compounds is the lead, and that was deteriorating. So they're in very good shape. We're currently discussing and seeking out funding to refurbish them and get them back into the church, but the church itself has to be renovated.
Yes.
And so in the past we have had specialists come in and take a look at the church, and we have some estimates in regards to refurbishing it. So that work has been done. It's just a matter of money now.
Yeah. Has the church, whereabouts is the church located?
It's located on our Indian Reserve number 2, which is located in North Shelley. So it's out past Northwood Road out there, which is one of our communities.
Right. And it's, how old is the structure?
Early 1900s. We're first off 1913, and the church was built around that time. So it was actually featured in a book of churches of British Columbia. It's the cover. It's the cover church on that book.
Yeah. So how much of a project is it going to be to refurbish the thing? Are you going to have to virtually rebuild it, do you think? Or?
It depends on the extent you want to go, and then the proposals. The options vary from $25,000 just to maintain it, up to over $400,000 to fully refurbish it to original state.
Yeah, that's going to be quite the job. Just to do the windows is going to be quite the job.
Yes,
you're going to have to find somebody who
$100,000.
Really, to get the windows done.
Yes.
Oh my. Well, I guess if you know those kind of skills it takes to rebuild those kinds of things, I guess you can get paid for them.
Yes.
So you have been in the Prince George area maybe some 4,000 years, or 8,000 years, did you say?
That was the spearhead.
Yeah.
They there's been other research. It's 7 to 9,000.
Now, were those artifacts sort of dug up when they were preparing for the bridge crossing, or?
Yes, they were doing an archaeological impact assessment. So they were doing digs there, and what they had found was an old campsite, basically.
How do you feel about like third-party archaeological digs, because they come up with this material out of the ground, and although it may have been yours at one time, it's not yours anymore? And how do you feel about that?
Well, technically, it still is ours.
Yeah, but you're just not in possession of it.
We don't have the facilities to properly care for them at this point, but at some point we will have, and it will be returned to us when that occurs.
So you can ask for them back?
Oh, no, it's already the understanding. We can get
okay.
back.
All right. Yeah, I know the Haida were doing a lot of work in that area. Repatriation and stuff like that. And that's an idea that runs very deep, in the Haida people, and I think that the repatriation is very cool because, Madam Producer is an anthropologist, and the guy who, the major guy who invented anthropology, he did all his field work on the Queen Charlotte Islands. Did you know that?
Who are you talking about? Boaz?
Boaz.
I knew he did a lot of work with cataloging and documenting First Nations, but I did not know that he did most of his work
with the Haida and all the people of the northern coast there, which is interesting, and I find their history very interesting. It's the 37th annual Elders Gathering, and it takes place from July 8th to the 11th, and elders will be coming from all over British Columbia. Now, let me ask you this: what do you need? If you were to able to look out across something and say, well, here's a volunteer opportunity, or here's are you looking for partners?
That's one of our main things, is that we set up both like a cultural committee to kind of work on showcasing Lheidli's culture, songs, and dance. We've also looked at setting up a proposal and fundraising committee that we could look at, securing the additional funds that we need. Like, this is a pretty significant event. The last production for this event was about $800,000 from the previous host. So our target is about $500,000. Like right now, that's kind of a moderate some of value, but we do want to look at providing a great opportunity to provide the elders with the food, to make sure that they are fed, and it's reflective of our practice, so it's something that we want to be consistent of. We are looking at launching our website, the 37th annual elders gathering, so that will be linked to our current website with Lheidli.ca. So it is something that we want to look at doing. We do have some commitments already from some corporations that want to step forward.
Okay.
So it's very exciting, that since our press release and the announcement of Lheidli hosting it, we've been very fortunate in having people come up to the plate already.
So yeah, you're looking for funding, donations, partnerships,
And volunteers.
Absolutely. How do they get a hold of you?
They can contact us at the administration office at 250-963-8451.
Okay. And who do they ask for?
They could ask for Darlene.
Darlene Logan.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. And she was the one that steered me onto you people when I made my inquiries. Thank you very much. And July 8th, first little bit of July, so it'll probably draw a lot more than if it was in the...
We are going to encourage registration. That's going to be a requirement because we have to manage the number of people, and so it'll give us an indicator of what we're expecting.
Do you have a registration fee set, or are you just thinking about it?
Right now, it's in the planning stage, but the past host agencies have charged roughly $75 for an early registration fee. So we're going to look at adopting that model as well.
Okay, well, looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Been talking to Jason Morgan, who is, according to his business card here, the executive director, and Barry Seymour, who, according to his business card, is just an all-round nice guy who likes to talk. And we like those kind of people. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be back.